My name is Bill Haas. I have a company named Computer Consulting Group in NJ, which is based in New Jersey, Passaic, New Jersey. And what we do is we're an MSP, a managed service provider, and we offer different services to actually be an outsourced IT for our customers. So that way they don't need an internal IT person or an IT department. Some people would call it a CIO, a computer IT manager, whatever you want to call it. And we offer all types of management services for their network, maintain their computers, keep them up to date, do their patch management, as well as sell them equipment. And then we have our security stack, which ThreatLocker is one of our top pieces in that stack. So what we offer is an outsourced IT where smaller companies don't need or necessarily have the budget or set up to have a separate office, a separate position, a separate salary. So a lot of times what will happen is it's easier to have someone like us where we're monitoring their systems and keeping all their systems in check, as well as patched and serviced properly. And we feature a security stack like ThreatLocker, with just part of it. We try, besides like the antivirus and other pieces that are with it, and we focus on small businesses. We have a concentration in the New York, New Jersey area, as well as some customers in Massachusetts, and we're trying to get more into managed services. We do both managed services and break fix, but managed services is obviously more of the future, as well as getting more involvement and deeper with the client. Before ThreatLocker, we weren't using a zero trust product. We were using, like I mentioned before, like an antivirus. We used an AI product, which is Sentinel-1, and then it's just educating customers. So what we try to call it is a security fabric, having the different players. It's almost like they say, if you want to secure a place, like a famous place like the White House, for example, you don't just have one fence. You don't have one guy with a gun. You have a bunch of fences, you have a bunch of security, and you layer it. And the same thing with us. We wanted to put multiple layers, and zero trust and ThreatLocker is an important piece. Plus, for us, the cyber hero is really key, where that way, if for some reason, since we're small as well, we're not available, they can click on the little box to escalate it, and then the cyber heroes can try to get on it. We've heard now more and more about zero trust, but I think each person or each organization does it different. We liked, ThreatLocker and their availability. Obviously 24/7 is helpful, as well as the reachability of the cyber heroes. So I can call them, my customers can reach out to them. So it's really one of those things that access is more important to us than sometimes the product itself, because the product has to maintain itself at a certain level, but at the same point, if the people aren't available, like you call, you leave a message, they call you back 2 days later or a week later, that's already too late. Here, a lot of times, my customers in our situation in our office is we want to get something resolved. We want to get an issue, and I can give you a recent example, if you don't mind, where I called into the cyber heroes and I was on the phone with them for close to an hour because my Chrome was working perfectly. Suddenly, the day before, it was working perfectly. The day of that I called them, I was having all types of issues where it would say, can't open this tab, can't do this, can't do that. And then when I talked with the cyber hero, because I did a Zoom session, what happened was they jumped on my computer and they saw that, oh, the hash changed. I said, on Chrome, I've been using it for months, if not years. They said, sometimes it changes. So they did some changes and voila, everything started working. So it's that type of thing, getting stuck and being able to get through, like the gate opening up when it's appropriate. With cybersecurity, I listened to Bob Arnault and this other speaker who just spoke, Mike. It's just changing. It's changing on a minute by minute, second by second. And I think the key is by using technology like zero trust, it really does what Danny would say, where if you don't know it, you don't trust it. Even the regular thing like I mentioned about Chrome, which a lot of people use, the standard browsers, the Chrome, the Opera, the Mozilla, Internet Explorer, or anything else, it's definitely one of the top tier. And for us, when it stopped working or started misbehaving, I didn't know if it was something that it had a problem with or if it was a ThreatLocker detecting something. So it's just really good to have that type of kind of watching your back It's kind of like, when somebody, a dignitary walks around and he has his VIP crew, like, they say like the president or certain people like that, they might have the black glasses, but they're not there to do anything to cause any problems, but they're there to protect. And the same thing with a ThreatLocker. It's there to protect the computer, and if something goes wrong, it'll kick in and act, which is what you want. But I think the biggest challenge is the, constant changing of threats. So the better thing is to not trust it if you don't know, than to say, you have to backpedal and say something's infected, something's damaged. How do we minimize the damage? So the question is being proactive or reactive. And I think if you can be proactive, it might slow things down, like some program doesn't work right away, but at the same point, when you get it to work, you make sure it's the right thing working versus, oh my gosh, we got a major thing going, lock it down, see what we can do to, maintain minimal damage. I think that's probably the better thing, to be slow and cautious than, be a little quicker and, sloppier. I think in general, it's done two things for our business. One is, as I said before, it gives the trust or only trust to things that are something that it recognizes. So if you're on the good, like they have with the traveling program, the No Traveler program, TSA uses that for TSA Pre. So it's the same thing on a computer side. If you have the known program system where if ThreatLocker has it on the list, the Chromes, the Internet Explorer, the Microsoft Office, whatever each program is, and then it trusts it. So that's helped us, because what happens is people are using less extra programs. And if it's like, hey, I saw this on whatever, Chrome store, I saw it here and this, and I thought I would just try it out. Now what happens is they have to think twice, almost, to an effect of they have to be accountable for themselves, because they know that something's watching them and will pop up. I mean, sometimes customers will get a little annoyed that, I tried to do a remote session with my vendor and it popped up this, but sadly enough, we all know that sometimes those remote access can be also for nefarious things, that they're trying to access your data by using a, remote access program, and that this protects it by the known, program. I would recommend ThreatLocker. Again, it's an evolving product where I think they've come a long way. And I think that one of the things that's important to us is that I see Danny, even before I came into this interview, he's mingling with people, he's talking with people. The people at ThreatLocker are accessible. So that means a lot, because just like certain other vendors who are here, as well as other vendors I want somebody who's accessible. I don't want somebody who's behind that Iron Dome. So I think it's one of those important things for us, is that there is dialogue, there could be communication, there can be change on both of our ends. We can learn things from ThreatLocker to help change our organization to be better serviced for our clients, and ThreatLocker seems to listen to the MSP community and the resellers to try to make their product more accessible, more reachable, and more accommodating.